Right now, he's a star. He's a rising star, and it's hard to say that about a guy that's in his 7th year, but he's a rising star, and he's in that in-between world between star and superstar. But he's definitely the MVP of this team, and, he's the engine when he's going like he's going yesterday. I mean, when did the Knicks become the Golden State Warriors with Klay? Like, when did they start hitting threes like this?
Hey,
they couldn't miss.
And that kept him in the game because Trae Young, who got hurt at the end of the third quarter, was a huge difference. That's obviously a big reason why the Knicks came back, because they couldn't guard him and Clint Capella. But that was the reason why they stayed in this thing, because it was it 69-67, I believe, at the half. It was insane. The Knicks are the best defensive team in the league, and these are now two games in a row where at halftime we're at 120 points combined, almost 130. But, yeah, it was the three-point ball that helped the Knicks or kept them in this thing, as they hit 19 threes, and it's 19 of 35. That's almost 55%.
And it's not always it's not just the threes. It's when they hit them.
Yep.
Like, these are big clutch moments. And one thing you can say about this team is how mentally tough they are, because they've been in a lot of tight games lately, a lot of overtime games, and they found ways to kind of squeak them out and come up with the big plays. And you can tell, when things get tight, you can tell that's when the separation in coaching and execution kind of plays its role. And that's what Tom comes up. He's so good at being able to adjust the defense, get guys to get scrappy, get them to buy in. Because I didn't think just last night was going to be their night. I thought we were going to come in here, we were going to talk about, they had an opportunity to go to 4th, but now they're 2 games behind Atlanta. And now, they found a way to grind it out. And it's, really, like, I'm really becoming a fan. We all pick our favorites, right? I'm starting to really become a fan of Quickly, because I feel like this young man, his talk about like Joe Cool. We had Joe Cool when Flacco was a rookie. His pulse is like nice and slow. He got a slow heartbeat, man, slow pulse, man.
Like RJ Barrett too.
And that's what I'm saying. And this guy he's not afraid of the big moment, right? And he's enjoying it, thrive. You can tell they're having so much fun and so much joy. You almost don't want to mix this team up with anybody else. You want them to grow together, but you know that they're a little bit short on the talent end. They need a couple more superstars, because, man, when I say they have to grind out wins, they have to grind it out. But listen, I don't think they would like it any other way.
I'll tell you what, and where they are now, as I mentioned, so they've won. The Knicks have won 8 in a row. And for anybody that thinks, well, like Keyshawn Johnson this morning, as I was messing with him as a Laker fan, and he's telling me, relax, it's only 8 games.
It's only 8 games.
What do you mean it's only 8 games? It's 8 straight wins
against good competition, too,
for a franchise that hasn't been able to put together 5 games where you feel like they're heading in the right direction. I mean, this is 8 straight wins, and it puts them in 4th place with 12 games to go. 4th place means that if they finish in 4th, they would be hosting. They would be the home seed in a first-round playoffs, which is unheard of if you think about where they were before the season, where pretty much they were predicted to win in the 20s somewhere. They're already at 33 right now with 12 games to go. So now you're looking at, could they get 4th place? Could they? They still got a tough road trip coming up to the West. But could they at least avoid the 7-10 play-in? They certainly could. And Julius Randle, he's talked about how their goals from game to game continue to rise with the win.
4th place sounds good. But like I said, we're not done yet. We have a long way to go. This is not about just getting 4th place or whatever it is. We're trying to build something here. We're trying to build a culture. We're trying to do things the right way. And we have a team that everybody believes in each other. So we feel like we can do anything. Anything's possible for us.
Well, remember at the trade deadline when I said some teams are going to be very active. They're going to want to add some pieces. Chicago made a huge trade for Nick Vucevic. They really wanted to make a push. They wanted to add another star, another all-star next to Zach LaVine, and they made that trade, and it has not worked out for them at all.
They lost like their first 5 games.
And it's not his fault. It hasn't worked out, right? So they've gone the other way. You've seen different trades around the league where teams are trying to either load up, teams are trying to add pieces and take a next step. And the Knicks didn't do anything. They moved on from Austin Rivers, but
Derrick Rose.
But that's it. Well, Derrick Rose was done much earlier in the season. But the point is around the deadline, I said there's certain teams where you look at the group you have and you say to yourself, be careful. Because if you take a piece out of this or add the wrong personality into it, it's amazing how fast you can lose whatever you've been building all year, right?
Absolutely.
So they don't make a move, and you hear them all talking about how much they really get along and the gym rat mentality they have. They all go to the gym. They all put in the extra shots. A lot of players in the NBA do this. But what can you say about how important that piece of it is? This is obviously not a team built to win a championship, but it's a team that is supposed to be built to start something with a franchise that has been dormant for so many years.
It's about,
Is it important to keep that chemistry together and let these guys have earned it to play this thing out and take this as far as they can take it?
Yeah, exactly. This year, I mean, if you can get better next year, then you do that. But I think it's all, what they say, attitude reflect leadership.
Yeah.
Right. So we watch, and I kind of laughed a little bit because we've all heard that I'm in the greatest shape of my life speech. We saw that with Julius Randle. He said he was going to, be a different player, this year, and we watched him, and look what he's become. I think he's the model citizen for that team of what hard work looks like. What happens when you commit? What happens when you stop making excuses? When you stop pointing the finger, start pointing the thumb and saying, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not the type of player that I want to be. I got this wrong with me, that wrong with me. I did this wrong. And then now, if you're a younger player like RJ Barrett, if you're a younger player like Quickly or Obi, then what you're saying is like, man, like, I may not be born to be a great player because I feel like every time you go up in levels, you go against, you get into the, closer to the top of the pyramid. But I think you're saying, well, I may not be born a superstar, but damn it, I could be made one, right? What's made lasts longer than what's born. And Julius Randle has made himself into a superstar, has put himself into all-star caliber status, right? And if I'm one of these other guys, I'm like, yo, just last year, he wasn't perceived that way. His game, like, when you look at the points, isn't too much higher, but like, look at the efficiency. Look at how he's stacking up all the numbers. And I think he's inspiring the other guys like, man, I can be him. I'm aspiring to be him.
If our best player's showing up at the gym at night, putting in another couple hours of shooting, maybe I need to too.
We heard what Quickly did, right?
Yeah.
After the game last night.
Yeah.
Not that one, but the game before.
Yeah.
The back-to-back.
Tuesday night.
Knowing he had a back-to-back.
Mm-hmm.
He's putting up shots.
Yeah, he was out on the garden floor putting up extra shots, and Obi Toppin went out and joined him.
And that's what happens when you dare to be great.